Imagine starting your healing journey or your inner work expecting to feel immediate peace or relief, only to be hit with a sudden wave of sadness, loneliness, emptiness, sometimes emotional withdrawal, and even loss and grief. And you wonder, why do I feel worse instead of getting better at this healing journey or this healing thing? But the thing is, when it comes to the healing process, as it has been said before, it's not usually a straight line. So what happens, because you're trying to expand your window of tolerance through new experiences and just new things and building safety within your nervous system, your body is going to try and resist, because during all this time you're trying to sit with the discomfort, you're trying to sit with all the emotions that you've been suppressing. You're also trying to build a new identity while at the same time grieving your past versions. And you might find that sometimes you're even misaligned with some of the relationships that you are in, because you are no longer the person who you used to be. There is that growth, and now you're stuck somewhere in between. Today, we are going to be talking about why emotional change feels like loss before it feels like relief. Let's start with why emotional change or growth disrupts the nervous system. But before that, something that is worth mentioning, your nervous system will always choose what is familiar versus what is safe. And you have to be very careful so that you are not confused by the two. You have to know whether familiar equals to safe to you and how they feel in the body. When you are in your healing journey or in the healing process, what you're trying to do is expand your window of tolerance. And this is done through new experiences and new nurturing connections. The trick is usually sitting with discomfort, because through that discomfort is how you teach your nervous system that this is safe and it is not dangerous for us. So expanding your window of tolerance basically just means sit with it, feel it, instead of ignoring it or using avoidance. It feels like loss because you are grieving your old identity, past version of yourself, and misaligned relationships. One thing with healing, it provides clarity. And with that clarity comes the fact that you are able to see the relationships that you are in as they are. So if they were neglecting, if they were draining, you're able to see them as that. And then you're able to make a decision of how to move forward. Also, you are able to let go of survival patterns and roles that no longer serve you as a person. By roles, I mean roles like the caretaker, the people pleaser, and the fixer. When it comes to these roles, the most important question to ask yourself is, who am I when I'm not this person? Who am I when I'm not a fixer? Who am I when I'm not a people pleaser? And who am I when I'm not taking care of everybody? This helps you answer the question about the self-identity, because then again, you're stuck in this place whereby you're no longer the person who you used to be, but at the same time, you still feel like a stranger to yourself. So with that, you start experiencing new things that help you learn this current version of you, what they want and what they align with. As for grief of the past versions of yourself, it's all about sitting with the discomfort of what was, what wasn't, and what is. It's coming to the acceptance of what happened, what you wish happened, and what didn't happen. That is basically what it means to grieve versions of yourself. It feels worse before it feels better, because now everything that you are suppressing, it's coming all up to the surface. There's these feelings that you are numbing, avoiding, dissociating, and now they are demanding to be felt. So this is why everything feels so much heavy and overwhelming, because what happens when everything shows up at once, it floods your nervous system. And the trick here is to take things slowly, because then again, we don't want to be in a place whereby we are trying to move through the healing journey, but at the same time, we are feeling so fatigued emotionally and exhausted because everything is hanging on us. But also, there's the issue about the coping mechanisms. You were having coping mechanisms in the past, or your old coping mechanisms, but you're no longer using them. And then you have new coping mechanisms, but they are not producing the desired effect. So you're stuck in this place whereby Your old coping mechanisms, you're not using them, but your new coping mechanisms, they are not working as you'd like. So that is why it feels worse than it was before, or you feel like things are not getting better. With the time, there comes the relief stage. This is the stage whereby you're able to trust your gut, your nervous system is regulated and calm, you are able to make new connections that are aligning with who you are right now, and then there is clarity, and then you come to the realization that the lost feeling was just emotional weight leaving your system. Now, if you are someone who is stuck in that phase of confusion, loss, emptiness, grief, and you don't know what is happening, I want you to be gentle with yourself. Give yourself time so that your nervous system is able to learn and adapt to what you're teaching it.